Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Manifesting Your Desires. This is Antonio checking in. And today, I just want to tap in and talk about one myth about manifestation that I feel has been misunderstood, and that is the universe is testing you. I used to believe this, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't believe it or you can't believe it, but from my experience, the universe is not testing me. The universe is simply responding. The universe is simply adhering to what I'm putting out there. Is really focusing on what I'm emitting. That's why I talk about, being in alignment. That's why I talk about raising your vibration, because a lot of times we don't realize that we have these programmings that control our entire life, our thought pattern, our decision making, and so on. And we feel like that if it's something that we desire, that we have to go through something so strenuous, that we have to sacrifice so much, And like I always say, it's better to obey, than to sit here and focus on what you should sacrifice. It's better to give yourself an order and follow it out. Because let's say, for instance, like right now, let's say, for instance, I did like a little mini fast. It wasn't real fast, but I was just eating light. Now, the normal person, or my old way of thinking, I got something on my nose. My old way of thinking was saying, oh man, the moment I start fasting, I'm thinking about food. It's like the universe testing me, putting all this food in my face, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, no, the universe is not testing you. You just made a decision to fast or to eat lighter. And the reason why you probably have these cravings is because of the different processed foods or all the chemicals that they put in these foods. But for me, this time around, I've been taking probiotics. And probiotics, they put the right bacteria in your body. And what I've also noticed from taking probiotics is that it kills that hunger to just snack and just eat. You see what I'm saying? So even though I was eating light or going through my fasting period, I wasn't being tested, because I didn't have my taste buds have been altered due to the probiotics. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times what we're going through in life, the universe is not testing us. It's more so of like an ongoing cycle of just showing you what's been going on. So if you wake up one day and say, hey, I want to change, I want to start exercising, and the universe put all kind of situations in your way to block you or to hinder you from exercising, it's not the universe testing you or stopping you. It's just the universe knows, your subconscious knows that you're not used to exercising. So you're trying to implement a new habit when you have an old programming that's used to doing X, Y, Z. So if you're not used to exercising, of course things are going to pop up, because this programming is here to protect you. You feel what I'm saying? That subconscious, it doesn't know what's real or fake, good or bad. It's just here to serve and protect. So you thinking, oh, the universe is testing you, man. I got to get up. I got to exercise. And you'll do good 1 or 2, 3 days, but that subconscious will kick in and be like, hold up, you trying to exercise. That's not what we do. So the universe and your subconscious is really here to serve and protect you, not test you. Your conscious mind have you thinking that, oh, this is a test. And if you look at it as a test, then I mean it's okay. It's not nothing bad, but I don't want people to, from my experience, it was a myth for me because I've gotten to a point and I realized that the universe is simply responding and that manifestation is not as hard and forceful as we make it. You know, everything starts inwardly. I've really learned and adopted this belief. And I also know that the more I vibrate on a higher, the more I just simply vibrate higher, I emit a higher frequency. So just remember that the universe is really responding to the frequency that you're putting out. It's not testing you. Now, true enough, obstacles do come. And it's a guy by the name of Bob Proctor. He speaks of terrier barriers. I don't know if I said that right. Terrier barriers. I don't know. Terrier barriers. It's a tongue twister. But basically what these are basically obstacles. When you're on the path to doing something, whether it's eating decent, working out, waking up at a better time, you'll have a moment in time, at least from my experience, I have a moment in time where I'll be doing good, be on it. And then here come that obstacle. Here come that terrier barrier. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a real tongue twister, but I'm gonna just say obstacle. Here comes that obstacle, and that obstacle is just your subconscious popping back up like, yo, what are we doing here? This is not what we're used to doing. And what happens is, for every step forward, what they say is 10 steps backwards. And that's what happens. You move forward, your old self, your true self comes and like, yo, I got a habit of waking up whenever I want to. We got a habit of eating whatever. We don't have a habit of exercising, so what are you trying to do? This is not what we eat. No, we don't wake up early. And it's not the universe testing you. It's just an effect of the causes from a programming that you've unknowingly or knowingly downloaded. It's nothing but a download. It's nothing but a programming. And all that programming needs is a little correction, So when that obstacle comes, you may have to, I take that back. When the obstacle comes, you have to just learn how to retreat and know that, hey, this is an obstacle here because of my subconscious previous patterns. Now, in order to move forward, let me acknowledge this. Okay, this obstacle is here. But how can I still implement? Let's say, for instance, you want to exercise. You go out running, whatever, you go to the gym, something pops up. You may not be able to go. That's an obstacle. You're trying to set a new habit. But when you set a new habit, there's no such thing as excuses. Unless, of course, it's like a real near-death experience or whatnot. Or whatever the situation may be. You may not be able to make it to the gym or exercise how you want to, but you can still jog in place. You can still do some sit-ups. You may not get that result that you're looking for, but the fact of the matter is that you still exercise. You feel what I'm saying? Even when it comes to eating better, you may not have whole and organic food. You still may have to eat a few canned foods. You still may have to eat a few packaged vegetables. You still may have to eat meat or whatever that's not as fresh, but how you prepare it is a little healthier. And the less processed food that you eat is a little better. You see what I'm saying? And the same thing with meditation. You may not be able to meditate for a certain period, but if you get 1 minute in, that 1 minute is better than none because you're still setting a habit. You're still planting a seed. You're still setting that foundation. And sometimes when we have certain mindsets, we don't realize how detrimental that those mindsets are to our everyday thinking, our everyday life. The fact that you're thinking that the universe is testing you, 9 times out of 10 you'll fail because of the way your mind is programmed to test. When we go to school, we take tests. On anything, I'm gonna leave it at school. And a lot of times, a lot of us, we don't like school. So we got a programming of tests. Oh man, I got a test. You anxious, you nervous. Am I ready for the test? And what happened? You failed the test. you barely pass. But all the other assignments, the quizzes, the homework, projects, you do good. But when you hear that word test, it's just so hard. Am I ready for the test, the big test? And having this mindset, it actually can hurt you. You know, it can actually build up a wall of resistance. And when it comes to manifesting, you want to have least resistance as possible. So just to think that the universe is testing you, it creates a real strain on your advancement to the next level. And you just got to understand that everything happens from a cause and effect situation. So instead of focusing on or thinking that the universe is testing you, just focus and think of, okay, this is the effect, but what caused this, you know? And then once you get into a habit, you'll know every time that you're looking for some type of change, an obstacle will appear. It's not a test, it's just an obstacle that's gonna appear because you have certain habits. And whether these habits are good or bad, you decide. But these obstacles, they will appear. And they are only appearing because your subconscious is protecting you. It's protecting you. So if your subconscious is here to serve and the universe is here to serve and protect you, then why don't you plant seeds of the things that you desire? But knowing that once you plant these seeds of the things that you desire, you have to then realize that, hey, I'm planting these seeds. Now I have to cultivate my garden. Because once you cultivate your mental garden, yeah, true enough, weeds will come. Just like if you have a real garden, weeds will come up, the plants die, bugs come. If you don't tend to your garden, all of that happens. It dies. And the same thing with your mindset. Once you plant these seeds, you have to realize and you have to know that, hey, obstacles will appear. This is not the universe testing me. This is just a natural cause of the effect. And this is a natural effect of the cause. And the cause was me planting seeds, planting a new seed, watering this mental seed, cultivating this mental seed. And as it's growing, of course, negative thoughts, you feel me, old thought patterns, old habits, they will kick in. But it's up to you to cultivate. You have to cultivate this change. Because the universe gives you what you desire. It gives you what you put in. It's not magic, it's not witchcraft, it's not voodoo. It's really simple as it planting a seed, cultivating it, and just having the patience and knowing that in divine time and in divine order, everything will fall out or fall together or merge together. So you gotta stop and you gotta really ask yourself, what seeds do I want to plant? And after you plant those seeds, you have to be ready and know that the obstacles are coming. But when they come, if you meditate, you will have an awareness and you will be able to consciously view these obstacles. Even before they come sometimes, but you'll consciously be able to view these obstacles like, I see what you're doing here. You're trying to stop me from moving forward. And then you'll be able to strategize strategically and see what works for you. And the more and more these obstacles come, and the more you're able to consciously aware, the more you're able to strategize and see what works, and you develop a formula for your life. And you build this mental strength. And then you have what's called a paradigm shift. You know, you shift from your old self to a new self. It's like you jumping from reality to another reality. And so now you'll probably get to a point where, or you will get to a point where you'll be able to manifest like that because you transcended the conscious. You transcended the everyday time. And it does take time because a lot of us have mental gardens that have nothing in it. Just a mental garden full of weeds and a mental garden full of just poisonous, a mental garden full of just dry soil, a mental garden full of negative thoughts, a mental garden full of depression, a mental garden full of everyone else's thoughts. And we have to unlearn and we have to relearn. You have to cultivate your mental garden just as the gardener will cultivate the land. You can't just go in there and just start planting seeds. You know, you got to go through a cleaning phase mentally. You know, you got to detox mentally, physically, spiritually. Then you go in. You can't just go into your mindset and start planting seeds. You know, you want to start meditating, get your vibrations up. Get to the point where you can believe that, hey man, if I put something in my mind and I think on it and I cultivate it and I visualize it for long enough, I will start to see signs. It will manifest into my physical reality. It's a process. But a lot of us are walking around with programs that we didn't even create. A lot of people walk around just zombied out. A lot of people just robots. The media, the technology, your parents, school, your coworkers, your friends, everybody just dumping into your garden. And they garden horrible, but they're dumping into your garden and it's just, you're not flourishing. You're getting the same results. You're not growing, you're stagnant. So you gotta really open up your mind if you wanna change. If you really wanna truly live the life that you desire, you gotta really open up your mind. You gotta really change how you view everything. You got to. Because if not, then you'll start believing all of these ideologies that's been imposed on all of us. You know, you'll not be able to think for yourself. You know, just the mere fact that I have a different thought process of the universe not testing me. It's just an effect from the cause. The universe is simply giving me what I desire, whether I consciously or unconsciously ask for this. You know, that's why you have to know where you're going. You have to have different goals, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, all around the board. You have to wake up every day and see how you can operate higher than where you were. Not saying that every day is going to be perfect. Not saying that you got to be jolly all the time. Yeah, you're going to have days and moments and times where you down and out and blue. That's natural. It's natural to feel different emotions. What's not natural is just being all 24/7. That's not realistic. But the moments you do get in those funks, those depressive moods, all of that, you have to acknowledge that. You have to get to a mental spot where you can acknowledge, hey man, I'm not feeling good. I don't know why I'm irritated. Let me go back and see what I can do to fix the problem. When you get to that, that's when you realize that you've grown, you know, and that's what this is about. So just realize that the universe is not testing you. This is simply an effect from a cause that you created, whether it was consciously or unconsciously. You have to take accountability for all of your actions, even if you don't understand. But the universe is not testing you. Will there be obstacles? Yeah, but it's not a test. The universe is here to serve and help you. Your subconscious mind is the universe. It's here to serve. It's here to help you. At least that's my viewpoint. You might disagree. You might agree. It's okay. And that's the beauty of having your own thought pattern. Because it's like you get to learn from somebody else's way of thinking. But when majority of the people are thinking one way, when a person come through with a new thought form, a new idea, you get shunned upon. You get looked at crazy. But I personally don't feel that the universe is testing no one. From what I've studied, from what I've seen, from what I've experienced, it's simply an effect from a mental cause, whether that cause was consciously or unconsciously. Because the subconscious does make decisions before you can even consciously make a decision. Think about that. So you guys plant the right seeds, you know? Do what you gotta do to make sure your mental world is straight. Because y'all see what's going on out here in this world. Especially if you live in America. You see what's going on. And we living in some times where you got to be mentally equipped out here. Because if you don't, the control mechanism is at an all-time high. Like, the attention span is getting shorter and shorter. Like, people becoming just anything they see, they just believing, they running with it because they have no thought for them. They cannot even think for themselves. They don't think for themselves. The mind is so amazing that it have you thinking that you're thinking for yourself and you're not. You got to go deep within and plant those seeds and cultivate that garden and watch your life change. Peace.